ringing, dinging, flinging during the service. So excited to see everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, isn't it? Yeah. How many of you, this is your first time at a service? Awesome. How many have been to one before? Yay. All right. Lots of new ones, lots of repeat customers. This is exciting. Today is going to be such an amazing day. We have 3 unbelievably incredible mediums in the house, and we have an awesome Reiki master crystal expert. She's going to talk about the healing impact of crystals, which I think is just so great, right? I mean, a lot of us are drawn to crystal. I'm always drawn. The sparkle, the more bling, the better. So I like those sparkly crystals. But anyhow, as you know, we always start with a message from Spirit. Then we go into a talk of the day. Then we're going to have our expert talk. And then we have our mediums deliver messages. But the fun part is they don't know what order they're going in because we like to keep them on their spirit toes. So if you just take a moment and join me while I deliver the message from Spirit. We see the times when you are feeling alone and lonely, when you experience a sadness that is deep within and unexplainable. We see your sense of loss. We encourage you to go deep within your soul to remember the experience prior to the physical realm and allow those imprints of love and connection you once felt to embrace you in a warm hug. Like the safe and security within the womb, your soul remembers the unconditional love and support of us. This is our love for you. We are constantly surrounding you and reminding you of this power. You have the potential to soar and create magnificent love in this world. Your soul is beautiful, and when you feel disconnected, we gently guide you back to your all-knowing self. You must trust us during these difficult times as we have never left you. Even in doubt, we are always here, giving you that nudge when needed. In the chaos that exists within the physical realm, your world, your higher self sometimes gets forgotten through the inner chatter and thoughts. But remember, we are always present. We will guide you if you allow us. Your inner compass always knows the way, and within the state of confusion, there is a wonderful opportunity to explore new places within your soul. It is only through your perceived limits that you begin to see your potential. There are no limits. There are no tests that you cannot overcome. You are magnificent. You are a powerful source and a beacon for others. When you feel down, come sit with us. We are always here listening, and in the quiet space you commit, you will hear us. You are never alone, and you are always loved. And within the beacon lies the pureness of your soul. Love your soul, as then you are loving us. Someone asked this morning, how did they come about? And it really is just this awareness, this opening, like, okay, we're going to set an intention. What do you want to talk about? And sometimes I'll play music or just kind of be in quiet space. And then I just start typing. And there's a million spelling errors. So I have to go back and use the spell check because you're just not thinking. You're just automatic writing. So it is so much fun to see what you're like, oh, it does make sense. But we all know that mind chatter, am I right? It is like we all know that we're supposed to know and supposed to see, but sometimes I don't know how much we forget that. It's like, but it's also a joy. I think there's a joy when, sometimes things, you can't see the way out. And yet, it works out. And when it does, you go, my goodness, they must be around. It's like, you can imagine them going, yeah, they've been telling you that nudge is for you. So, now we're going to do the talk of the day. And the talk of the day is truly inspired, by the losses that we've had this week. And not to go too much into them, but there's such a wonderful lesson within the tragedies that we've experienced. So this past week, we've been more aware of the disconnect that we each can feel, even with one another. And through the two tragic losses of the beautiful souls, they seem to have everything. But we were brutally awakened to the reality that we don't really know what someone else is going through. We all have a story, and this story, even though we may have some commonalities with it, it's still our story. There's still something different. And our story needs to be told. If we can put down electronic devices, sorry, Facebook Live, turn off TVs, and just kind of get back to engaging in conversation with one another in an organic way, a real way, not just, oh, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good, and then keep walking. Take a moment. Are you okay? How is everything? And wait for the answer. Perhaps you have a friend or a family member that is going through something personal. Maybe it's you going through a struggle at this very moment. There are times when each of us, every single one of us, feels alone. Right? I'm not the only one, right? Anyway, no, Chloe, we're all good. But we're afraid to ask. We're afraid to show our vulnerability. We're afraid to show what we perceive to be a weakness rather than a strength. It is time that we begin to share our stories, our souls, and our emotions. So reach out when you feel stuck. And when you need some encouragement, ask for it. We have to let go of this idea that we have to be strong. We are meant to be emotional beings. We are meant to help one another. And even if you think someone around you is okay, take a moment to look them in the eye and say, are you okay? My heart sees your heart. My soul sees your soul. People are always talking about tribes, finding your peeps, finding those around you who get you, who see your energy. When you have the courage to tell your story, to reach out when you're feeling low, and if those around you will hold and support you in those moments, that is your tribe. Build your tribe with love, support, and communication. We can't just be here for another happy hour. Be the more the merrier, but a fun game or a concert. It's being there for one another through it all. The ups, the downs, and all of the experiences in between that make us question, do we want to be here? Just take a moment and look around. You are in a room with your tribe. Everyone here has come together to celebrate spirit, soul, self. And through that expression, through that celebration, we are using our stories to say and ask, are you okay? should have asked her to bring some to play. I should have been like, what's this one? What's that one? But very excited. So most of you know Jules from the services and as a beacon within our own community for having a space, being a teacher, a healer, Reiki master, and psychic medium. And she works with such love and such authenticity and a true desire to hold this space. And I think that that is incredible. And so I've been wanting this crystal talk for a few months now, she knows. And so she was going to give messages, and then I bumped her and said, we're going to talk about crystals. I'll let you do messages next month. And she's like, absolutely. And that just always shows you the willingness of someone saying yes to spirit. However you need me, yes, I'm a servant. So anyhow, without further ado, I'd love a warm welcome for Jules Davis.
Thank you, Colby. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It doesn't take much to ask me to talk about crystals anyways, because I love crystals. I'm sure some of you love crystals and maybe like to learn a little bit more about them. So the cool thing about crystals is that everybody can use them. You don't have to be a certified crystal healer in order to receive some benefit. You don't have to be a healer. Everybody can pick up a crystal and work with them. So that's really cool. Because it doesn't take a lot of training, but the more knowledge you know, you start to learn about how the crystals work. So the cool thing about crystals is kind of a big umbrella now and incorporates lots of different things. But actual crystalline structures are the most orderly structure in all of nature. So they have the lowest amount of entropy, which is disorder. So you can actually put an intention into a crystal, like a quartz crystal, and it will continue to vibrate and send out that energy. They've said that if you program an intention into a piece of clear quartz, it can resonate with that intention and continue to send out that frequency for 300 million years. So just holding a stone in your hand, especially quartz, that has a very special high vibration to it. And it's very clean and clear and one of those orderly structures. You can just sit with it, hold it in your hand, put an intention into it, and it will continue to send out that energy. So whether you're going through something, a difficult time in your life, whether you'd like to manifest something, you can put that intention into the crystal, hold it with you, meditate with it, put it on your body, and it will continue to resonate with that energy and send it out to you. So energy, what is energy? Energy is everywhere. Even inanimate objects, you can feel an energy from it. But us, we have this physical life force energy flowing through us. And there is science that says we have this bioelectromagnetic field of energy that expands up to several feet from our physical body, depending on the person. Some of us in the spiritual community refer to it as an auric field, but it is this field of energy that for some of us that are more sensitive, it's palpable. We can touch it, we can feel it, we can feel imbalances within it. Crystals also have this energy, this frequency that comes off of them. So it's said that when we put these two energies together, they create a third energy when they blend, and that's one of the ways that crystals start to work with us and heal our own energy. So we have these 7 main chakras, if we're talking about chakras, that start at the base of our spine and go through to the crown of our head. And they all have a different, unique color of the rainbow spectrum. So one of the easiest ways to work with crystals, if you don't know about them, you don't have to study and learn every property of every single crystal to work with them. Just choosing a color that matches the color of that chakra is one of the easiest ways to work with crystals for healing. So if you have a ruby stone or a piece of garnet or red jasper, you could put it on your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, and it will help to give you some energy, some vitality, feel more grounded and connected to nature, for example. And that goes for every chakra all the way up. Just using the color of that crystal, putting it on, will help you to heal the energy that's there. You can also put them around your body in your auric field. That's a nice way as well to work with crystals for energy healing. So if you're laying on a bed, you can put the crystals around you. I'm a little bit of an OCD person, but also because we have these different lines of energy that run through us, I like to put them specifically in the central channel. So imagine like along your spinal column when you're putting them on your body and you just have one piece of a crystal. Put it in each of the energy centers on your body, and that's a really great way. You can lay there before you go to sleep, put the crystals on your body, and it'll help to relax you. You need a little soothing, you need to come down, calm down, you've been going through something rough, just put the crystals on your body, lay down, and you can administer self-healing that way. If somebody you know in your family is going through something, you can do the same. You can put the crystals on their body. Just choose a color that matches if you have one. But really, intuitively choosing is okay too. So the easiest way is to find a color that matches the chakra and use it, but you're not going to be hauled off by the crystal police if you use a color that doesn't match it. And some of the chakras actually have multiple colors that work with them. So for example, the root chakra, its primary color is red, but you could use stones that are black, you could use stones that are gray, you could use stones that have like a brown color to them, these earthly colored stones. And that will also work. Same with the heart chakra, you could use a stone that's pink or green. Green's the primary color, but you could also use the color pink there. There's also stones like selenite. That's a common stone. It's a white stone usually, but it does come in some other colors. Colby's got one in the back there. You can check it out. So selenite is another high vibration, awesome, amazing stone. I recommend everybody to have some selenite around them. These are good little energy cleansers, and selenite is something that you can put anywhere on your body, and it will help to cleanse and balance your energy fields. Kyanite, I don't think Colby has it. Most commonly colored comes in blue color. That's also a stone that you can put anywhere on your body, and it will be cleansing your energy. So those are good stones, if you remember later, to pick up and have and work with. You can work with them that way. So selenite, just as I'm holding it here, I'll mention a couple ways of cleansing some crystals. So cleansing crystals, you want to keep that energy cleansed because again, it can be programmed, it can absorb the energy. They absorb, transmute, transmit the frequencies of energy that either come from them or the intention that you're putting into them. So you do want to cleanse your crystals occasionally. If you're wearing them on your body, you want to cleanse them on a more frequent basis, especially something that's black because it absorbs a lot of energy consistently. So if you're working with selenite, this is one of the few exceptions to what I'm going to say, is that most crystals can be cleansed in cold water. Cold water is one of the quickest and easiest ways to release energy and cleanse energy. But if you have a stone like selenite, which maybe the people at home can't see, it's a very soft stone. It has like a salt-like texture to it. So this is one of the few stones that you wouldn't want to put in water. But it's actually a self-cleansing stone, so that's cool too. And you can put your other stones around it and it will cleanse those stones. But cold water is one of the fastest and easiest ways to just cleanse energy. Another way that you can cleanse your crystals is actually if you have other crystals, smaller crystals, say than this piece here, you can put the crystals around it, or if it's a cluster or some kind of larger piece like that, you can put the crystals on it and it will cleanse your energy, your crystals of the energy. If you're wearing a necklace or a bracelet or earrings or something like that on your body, or you're holding something in your pocket a lot or in your bra or wherever you're tucking these things away, you can also put the crystals there and take them out and put them, hang them on your larger pieces and it will cleanse them overnight. So that's a really great way of just, at the end of the day, take off your jewelry and put it on a nice larger piece that's next to your bed. It is okay to have crystals in your room, especially more calming crystals. Selenite's a good one. Amethyst tends to help with sleep. Not for everybody, so not every crystal is for everybody. Some people have different benefits from different crystals. So that's, again, using your intention. my crystal assistant. So this is a piece of amethyst here. It can come in a nice dark purple. It can come in a lighter purple like this. So different crystals come in different colors. different places in the world that they come from also makes the color a little bit different. But amethyst, actually, amethyst is a unique stone because the Greek translation of amethyst is not drunken. They actually used it. So crystals have been used for thousands of years. This isn't just a new age woo-woo hippie thing. They've been used for a really long time. But the Greeks actually wore it to help them to maintain sobriety or for hangovers and things like that. So if anybody here knows anybody that needs some of that, you can get them a little piece of amethyst. I know some of my friends that like to party a little too hard. I'm always like, here's a little crystal for you. So you can give them a piece of amethyst and just tell them, it's a nice little gift for them to hold on to. But amethyst can help some people with sleep. It can also help you with meditation, for example. And if you notice, this has a really nice, beautiful violet color, this piece. So this would be a great stone for your crown chakra, and you can put it up there. But some stones like this can also be used on your third eye. So there's not a lot of indigo-colored stones. So this is another chakra where you can use multiple colors. Clear stones even can work here for the third eye, blue stones, purple stones of any color. And when you're putting the crystals on your body, just going back to that, it's okay to have nice, big, heavy pieces. Some people, it's a little too heavy for them. I like the weight of the stones on me, but I'm a big girl, so I can take a lot, So just choose what you like. But on the throat, especially if you're doing it to somebody else, but even with yourself, you don't want a nice, big piece there, because that could be quite uncomfortable, right? So use your head when you're doing the crystal healing. Also on your third eye, especially if you're really sensitive here, you want to be careful with how heavy the crystal is that you put there too, because some people can feel like their third eye is suffocated because they have such a heavy piece there. So you don't want to put really heavy pieces there. But here, it's very grounding to put them on the lower part of your body, to put these nice heavy pieces. But you can have stones this size or even smaller, and they're still effective. So don't feel like you have to sell your house and buy every expensive crystal out there. You can start with just little stones and eventually upgrade. People often ask me what kind of stones they should get and if there's a difference between a tumbled stone or like a rough stone like this. And really the healing properties are the same. I tend to really like the rough stones because it feels a little more like they just came out from the earth, Plus when they're on your body, they don't tend to slip and slide as much off of you. But really it's a personal preference thing. And with gems, they always have different qualities, so they can be a B+ or an A or a AA or a AAA quality, depending on how much you want to spend and what your eyes like. But they're still going to have the same healing property if you buy a less expensive crystal. Rose quartz, which is one of my favorite crystals of all time, I can't get enough of it. Great for the heart chakra, great for calming down your energy, great for healing wounds of love and also attracting love into your life. Rose quartz, the more expensive it is, the richer color of pink, the steep pink that it comes in. So it tends to be a little bit more pale pink when it's not a really expensive quality rose quartz, but even those are beneficial. So just choose what feels right for you within your budget when you're working with crystals. And again, putting them in the central channel is great, but if you have two of the same stone, you can put them down. We have these meridians as well that run through the right and left side of us. You can put two stones, one on each side that's of the same stone, and then you can even put one in the middle that's of another stone. So you can combine different stones together, or you could, if you have one of two different kinds of stones, you can put one on top of each other in the center of your body, again in that central channel, just keeping the energy balanced. Because if you think of it, and you're putting stones all over the place, we're kind of imbalancing our energy. So it's not just my OCD, it is a little, there is some science to it a little bit. And also if you're meditating with stones or you want to put stones in your hands, it's really nice to put stones in your hands that are of the same kind. So that the energy is balanced that's coming into the right and left side of you. Working with points is a little bit more advanced in crystal healing. There's points, this has a point to it, right? This tower is called a tower of selenite. But quartz crystal tends to come in points. Anything that's quartz tends to come in points or can come in points. That just means that it has one end or two ends that are specifically pointed. Yeah, see, I got crystal hoppers all over the place. Quartz that has a single point. So when you're using a point, it actually can energy. Sometimes they come in wands. Selenite can come in wands that have a sharper point at the end. And this could be used for more specific kinds of healing where you want.
I know that I'm going to be working today with someone's brother. So I have a male in spirit. I feel like I have someone's brother, and I feel very, very hard working. And I do feel he passed as an adult, and that it's still on the young side, right? I feel like I'm over here on this part of the room. Would someone have a brother that's passed on the other side that's passed? And then if no, may I open it up to this side of the room? Does someone have a brother or someone who's like a brother that passed over? Would you have that? May I just come with you and give you a little bit more information? Now, I know this, Miss Lori, but I don't feel like I've ever brought this person through, but if I can, I'll give you a little bit more information. So it's someone that's like a brother, yeah? Or you do have a brother. Okay, thank you. You do have a brother. Thank you for that. And passed away quite young, and I just feel very fast. Would you understand that? And even quite tragic, yes. And really caught me by surprise, caught everyone by surprise, and really almost took us out of ourselves to what I feel like. What a shock. We never really thought that about this person. Even though he was a fast pacer, I feel, right? Yes. He was in the fast lane, right? Yes. So I have someone who's in the fast lane, and but actually someone who's very humorous and very funny, right? Yes. So I am connecting with you, yes. And I'm going to work with you today, so thank you. Right, so I even feel like I have a best friend here, too. Yeah, he would be a best friend. And so I just feel, right, Mom's taking it really hard, right? Mom took it really hard. And I know, of course, the whole family did. But you know what I feel about your brother is what an outreach of friends he had. What a large radius of friends he had, right? So he's sharing with me that there's a birthday or a significant day coming up for you. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you. Could you share that with the audience?
Tomorrow is the day that he died.
Oh, tomorrow's his passing. Chills, right? Everyone has chills. So he's just calling to confirm that. And you know, I feel like you must buy flowers for him or something, right? On his anniversary. It's like you're celebrating him, but I do want to tell you, I feel like he's going to be celebrating you. So I don't know if he's going to bring you flowers tomorrow, or you know, maybe someone will give you a flower, but know that that's from him. Still very much connected, and I also feel like there's either a bracelet or there's a tattoo. There's something on my wrist that I want to share with you. Would he have worn something on his wrist that's significant, or something that you have with his? I'll just say that. You can say no. Those are good. I like that. Let me just ask him again. Let me just see what else he wants to tell you. Right. So I feel like you do have a jewelry box, though. Your home is something of his in there.
I do.
Thank you very much. So really, lots of love. And I just feel two peas in a pod with you guys. Like he's still around, he's still dancing around. And I also have a musician, right? I have someone who would love music.
Yes.
And when he talks about loving music, I feel like I have guitar with me, right? Yes. And it's just so funny, right? He has a sense of humor because he's joshing with you now about the guitar and the music and the sense of humor. Would you either have his guitar?
I don't.
Or a friend would have it, if that makes sense.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Let's hold that to the side then. He's still strumming that music for me. I do want to talk about your birthday, though. I want to stay with that. He wants to share with you. I don't know if you have a birthday coming up, but I feel he's giving me that to you. Would you understand that? You have a birthday or another significant birthday, and I feel like it's in the next 3 months. If I could just say that there's something happening in 3 months. So we're in June, July, August, September. Would that be another significant date for you? That you would know of.
My brother's birthday that are living.
That's living, yeah. Okay. Well, his message to you is that he's still around the family, okay? So I feel like he's drumming his drums, he's still around the family, so just know that, okay? So thank you so much for your contact, your brother. Right. Thank you. And I know I have someone's mom with me. And I feel like she passed from a heart or a chest issue, but I do feel it was more from the heart. And once again, I feel like I'm drawn to this side of the room. And I feel like she's very close to her daughter. But I don't feel like you got to see her in the end when she passed. Would you understand that?
It's my grandmother, but she was basically my
And, oh, thank you. It's a grandmother.
mother. That's exactly,
It's like a mother.
exactly.
Thank you. And there is some remorse about not being there. You know, she says there's no way you could have been there. I feel like you were even trying to get there, or you couldn't get there, and there was a struggle, and you're like cursing, saying, what else is going to go wrong to prevent me from getting there? So I just feel like there's a struggle to get there. You would understand that there was some torment. And she would never want you to carry that around. She saw you having those difficulties, you know, trying to reach her.
Yeah.
I feel like I have someone who actually was a pen pal, which she also has sent you letters or notes. Would you understand that? I feel like there's her handwriting and some letters or cards.
There's a card. I keep the last Christmas card she sent.
You keep the last Christmas card. Thank you so much. As I keep blending with her, because I do feel we're connecting with your grandmother, I feel like holidays is a really big deal with her, if I may say. Lots of celebrating. You would understand that, yeah. And, you know, she takes me to Christmas. I just feel like Christmas is a special time for you and her. And you and her were very close, especially when you were younger, right? I think especially when you were young. That's pretty much
Nail on the head.
Yeah, excuse me?
Nail on the head.
Nail on the head, thank you. So wonderful and so proud of you. And she's shown me the color white. So I don't know if white is significant for you. I feel like I have lots of white roses coming in.
Wow.
You should take that.
I was going to put on a black jacket this morning, but I literally heard her saying, that's too dark. You need to brighten up. So I wore the white one.
Here's the white, very light. She's very funny. You know, your grandmother. She's very funny. What a sense of humor. You guys must have, I feel like you guys clowned around. And I keep hearing the month of July is significant for you. So I don't know if you understand that. Could you understand that? That the month of July would be significant.
I feel a lot of stuff is coming forward in July for me.
Good, thank you. Because she does share with me, I don't know if you're starting a new business or a new venture. It's a career. Thank you, a career. But she's telling me nothing's going to stop you, okay? You must be unstoppable. I do feel what she shares with me, just to finish this contact with you, I feel like she wants me to tell you there's a picture of her in your room or in your home that you must pass often and you think of her. Yeah. She's very aware of your home. She likes the new surroundings, by the way. So
I just reorganized
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Remodels. Yeah, you just redecorated. Fantastic. So she's here and she's very much alive and with you and celebrating spirit. And once again, just that color of white. So it feels like there's a lot more financial abundance coming to you from this new venture. Once again, yeah. I feel like you've honed in or you've zoned in. Okay, is what she's sharing with you. You're owning it now. You're coming into your own. Nothing is going to stop you. Once again, she wants to. I feel like the last message with her is the number 2. I don't know how that is significant yet. Let me bring. I think it was just the 2 of you. I think that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Is there's just the 2 of you. She felt a very close connection with that. Could you also take 2 siblings though before I end? Is there 2 siblings in your family?
I don't have any.
Okay. Why I'm getting a 2 from her. I'm not sure why I'm going to get the 2. I'm going to set that to the side because I feel like she wants to share with me something else. I'm thinking about monkeying around. Okay, so the 2 of you used to monkey around a lot. Yeah, you can understand that all the time. Because she pats her head and rubs her belly at the same time. Remember that monkey business?
Oh,
you can understand
she
that.
got me into trouble and vouched for me to get mad.
Well, thank you so much for that contact and just know that she's with us and she's certainly with you very strongly. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I do love messages, don't you? I'll tell you. It's like, ow! Just feels like Christmas. We get to unwrap all the presents from the spirit world. So thank you, Cheryl. So we're going to do some more messages. We have another incredible medium in the house. And I do love this guy because, see, now they don't know which one it is, right? Because there's 2 guys left. Right? So I love this guy. What's been beautiful to watch is his growth. You know, like me, that 9 to 5, that corporate world, and to start to listen to that buzz, to start to listen to that inspiration that I'm meant to do something more, and then you go, and you go, So it takes a lot of courage, and to see him step into his own power, to see him step into his gift, to see him step outside his comfort zone to do the work that he's meant to do has been beautiful. So let's see some of that work. Zach Lowe, come on.
Thank you, Colby. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So great to be with you. I am going to tune in and see who's around. Okay, I feel like I have a woman with me, and she feels getting a sense of a teacher. So I'm going to feel into that a little bit more and see if she was your teacher, or maybe that was just the role of her life. Okay. Yes, I do feel like she would have been your teacher. And I want to say that this would be someone who you felt a little bit targeted by. Like, I feel like she would have been a little bit tough on you, but now it's a point where you appreciate it. And I do actually feel like this is someone that would be in touch with still. And I want to say this is someone from, let's say, high school. Did someone over here connect to this teacher? Perhaps a teacher that you're still in touch with that would have had this role of being tough on you, but at the same time, nurturing. Maybe. Perhaps, I don't know. Okay.
Not high school.
Not high school, but everything else made sense? Okay. I want to say that, I'm getting something around animals. I'm getting something around maybe even bringing pets into the classroom. Can you connect to that, Yusan? Okay. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay. Let's get a little bit more here. Okay. I want to say that this feels like a time in your life when you would have really kind of discovered a passion that you didn't realize that you had. And it was thanks to this teacher. Is that connecting, Lori, or over here?
Yeah.
What parts make sense for you over here?
I'm just seeing a scene where, did you say animals?
I did say animals, yeah. Bringing an animal into the classroom.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
Lori, did it all make sense except for which part?
This is a teacher that I would go to her house, and she had a dog
Okay.
that was always there, and it was a passion of mine.
Okay.
That what we studied.
Yeah. All right, thanks. Okay, and I want to say also that this teacher, I feel like there would have been some personal trauma and personal issues in her life that you knew about, that she left behind when she came into the classroom, and you were aware that this was happening. Possibly that's a no, or that's a yes for you. That's a yes. Okay. Did I lose you on that word?
It's a possibility.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so I want to say that this is a time in your life when I want to say that there was a challenge with a particular classmate that she kind of guided you through. And I want to say that this was with perhaps a boy in the classroom, and that she kind of coached you on how to handle this situation. That's a no.
She coached me through a situation. It wasn't a boy, but it was a fear.
It was a fear. All right, great. All right. Let's get a little bit more here. And I also want to say that there was something around math. I feel like there was something particular to math, that there was a challenge with math that she would have helped you with. Does this feel like you, Lori?
Math is always a challenge.
Okay. I'm feeling more pulled to you on this story. What was the part that didn't make sense so far?
The high school.
Okay, just the high school. All right. And I'm also seeing with her something around scarves. Like I feel like that would have been a characteristic thing that she would have come into the class with, always wearing the scarves. Great. Okay, and I know she mentioned earlier that she's still in touch with you, and so I feel like this comes about through your own connection.
Yes.
And I want to say that I'm hearing you actually ask her, like, hey, how do I handle this situation? How do I deal with this?
Yes.
And I want to say that she's pretty clear. I feel like you get these messages from her strong.
Yes.
And it's also a matter of, I also want to say that writing comes through from you to her. Like, I want to say that maybe in the course of your writing, maybe there's some automatic writing that is coming through her. And does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And I want to say that she wants to be doing more of that with you, and wanting you to take pen to paper early in the morning. I feel like is where there's going to be a clear connection between you and her.
Okay.
I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have a gentleman here with me, and he feels fatherly, and he is showing himself to be somewhat stoic, somewhat quiet, but having like an internal sense of like who he was, and he was not one to really be messed with. Can anyone connect to a father like this? As I'm sitting like right in front. And I also want to say that it's interesting about him because I feel like he was very much like a man's man and really connected to guys. But with you and him, it just feels like there was like a special connection where it's kind of like you were able to kind of like squeeze through that exterior a little bit. You really have a special place in his heart of that. That makes sense for you, Terry?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I feel like sports were a big part of his life. I see him playing sports and watching sports. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm seeing baseball in particular.
Not so much baseball.
All right. I feel like he would have gone to work, kind of wearing a tie, kind of buttoned up, kind of that sort of guy, that sort of person. That was his life, but I don't feel like that was the real him. Does that make sense? Kind of incorporating.
Yes.
Because I feel like as soon as he came home, it's just like taking off the shoes, just kind of completely unwinding. I kind of see him just cracking a beer when he comes home.
Yeah.
Does that sound like him?
Yeah.
Great. And I want to say he's one of those people that like people just kind of want his affection, want his attention, want his approval, because he almost feels like a little bit like the cool guy in the room, where kind of just wanted his approval. Would you connect to that aspect of his personality?
Yes.
Cool. And what else? I feel like he comes forward pretty often, and it just kind of feels like it's almost like the relationship once he passed with you didn't really miss a beat. It just feels like he passed. You knew that he was still going to be around you, and that communication just kept on going. And I kind of feel like there's been a little bit of a challenge in the family, kind of like wanting other people to recognize that he's still very much around, and it's almost like you're being this champion in that regard. Make sense of that?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. And he appreciates that, and he's just really, it just feels like he's always been impressive. It just feels like this constant connection, and like just constantly like making him proud, like throughout the whole journey. It just feels like just like a solid father-daughter relationship that was great when he was alive, and it's still great, and it'll always be great. I'll leave you with that.
Right? he is our next one, but I do always love the opportunity to tell people about him because I just feel that he's got just this incredible soul, this incredible purpose, it's so much bigger than he is, and he doesn't know exactly where it's going, but he knows to listen to it. Like, you can see all of this happening. And, you know, talk about someone being tested. No one should be tested as much as this poor young man has been tested, yet he surrenders and surrenders and surrenders and gives and hopes and loves. And then he delivers these amazing connections and messages. So, we got to do an event last night, but it's just more importantly than that, it's wonderful to spend time with him and to have had these last few years to really get to know him. So I'd love to introduce Joshua John.
Hi. So I feel very underdressed, but that's what happens when you have your husband pack your clothes. I asked him what the outfit was supposed to be about today, and he said it's Portland Flair. So I'm not very dress savvy, so please forgive my underdress. So I do get drawn to people, so just kind of be on the lookout. I work kind of fast. What's really interesting as I was sitting there, I tend to write things down before I actually read people. What was really interesting, and you just say yes or no, and then if it's no, I'll move on. But there was a father energy that did step forward here. I don't know if this was a husband and father, but I am making me feel as if there was a father energy that passed. So this would be perfect. So this would be father and husband, correct? Okay. So one of the things that I just felt, and literally it says left front row, father, husband. So one of the things that I just felt from this is that when he stepped forward, I don't know if you were unable to say goodbye to him in the way that you would have wanted, but it does make me feel as though that you were able to see him after he passed away. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The other thing that he keeps, and this would be your husband, yes? Or your husband. Okay. But your father as well passed, yes?
Yes.
And would you understand, was there physical distance between where he was and where you were? Okay, because he made me feel as though that you weren't.
It was with my
Oh,
father.
with your father. Okay, so
for me.
so it's going to be a hodgepodge. I'm just going to separate them a little bit. One of the things that your husband makes me feel here as well, it's interesting because even though that he was a sweet, gentle guy, there's a part of him that was able to say no, like family oriented, like that's how committed he was to make sure family always came first. And one of the things that I needed you to know, he just says that there was nothing else that you could have done for him, is what he says. There's a lot of things about his health that were happening prior to his passing, but we didn't know he was going to pass in this way. Would you understand that?
Yes.
So he made me feel like he complained or he said something that he wasn't feeling well, but he dismissed it. Would you understand that?
Yes.
So I just felt as though he says, we can't take any responsibility because we didn't know, is what he says. He also makes me feel as if an anniversary either is coming up or it just passed, and he says, happy anniversary. Would you understand that? The other thing that keeps meant, it's funny because he says, I don't know if you like made a memorial like spot like above a door or something, but it's interesting because he keeps saying how like you hung up every single thing that you possibly could in your house. But the other thing that he makes me aware of as well is he just says, you need to understand, he talks about how, he says, but you understand I take responsibility for my passing as well, because I could have made better decisions surrounding my health. Yes? Did your dad like collect just random things, or was he?
Yes.
Because he all of a sudden, like in heaven, he's organizing all these little trash cans, and he just said, "Just tell her I did take my stuff to heaven." Is what he said. Because I feel like you told him, like, "Dad, you can't take this with you when you go," and he goes, "I proved you wrong." So, but this would be more of his personality,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
So to me, this is just not only acknowledging how he's coming through, but he also makes me aware, and my parents and your mom's also passed as well. She's here. Did he have another wife or a previous? Okay. If you didn't know, you probably didn't. But only because the interesting thing that I keep seeing is that he is with a younger female that I felt was either very important to him. I don't feel like this, to me, this does feel like a love, but maybe it could be a sister energy. But I would say that this lady passed well before he did.
best friend.
Well, I'm sure he didn't love her. He didn't know her. Not to say that he had a Mr. Rogers kind of personality, but he definitely shows himself like very like not square, but like very dad type. He's that kind of like worky kind of dad, but very loving as well. The other thing that keeps coming through here, I don't know why November would be significant or the 11th of a month being significant, but this would be a birthday, passing, or anniversary, unless it's
Anniversary.
Okay. I want to stick with you just 1 second as well. Your dad, can I ask, are you taking care of Mom at the moment? And can I ask this as well, is she having trouble, like, I don't know if it's with her neck or not being able to move completely on her own?
She walks very slowly.
Okay. Because one of the things that he talks about is the back of her head, and I don't know why, but he just says, tell her I'm carrying her through this. And what's really funny is that he goes, all the dogs are on the other side with him as well, so I think that he was a man of many pets, not just like one or two, correct? Can I ask, do you not wear your husband's ring anymore?
I just put it on today.
And you don't usually wear it?
I don't usually wear it.
Perfect. Because you just made me feel to look at your ring and just say,
Really? I put it on at home.
perfect. So just know that he just slapped me, sorry. He looks back at you just to tell her that I know that she brought it. So just know that even if you don't wear it, he knows that you made sure to bring it today. Do you have a daughter? Do you have a daughter by chance?
Miscarriages.
Okay. I might be moving on, but one of the things that your dad just made me feel, he goes, you need to understand that I wasn't scared when I was passing. And he goes, because you guys talked him through it, is what he says. And he goes, I want to say thank you for that. One of the things, you moved away from the home that you were living at, and he goes, that's a good thing that you did, is what he says, because it was really hard for you to be separated from that, correct? The other thing that he talks about, I don't know if you tried to take, like, I don't know if you tried to take a door with you, or like something like that was on, like a part of the house, but he just maybe, like, he saw you, like, holding the house, and just says, goodbye is so hard, but enough for forever, is what he says. And he also made me feel like, you're not a tattoo kind of gal, but he says you thought about it at
I
first.
did.
And he just made me feel that even though it was a thought, that he says thank you. I don't know where the David connection would be, or the D name would be significant.
My son and all grandchildren, their names also.
All their D's, okay.
Yeah, they're all D's.
Only because one of the things that he just made me feel, and I don't know if there's a new baby after he passed away, because I feel like there's two of them that were born into the family after he passed. And it may not be with your sons, but it might be with just within the family.
Well, yes, relatives, yes.
Okay.
Yes, my niece was pregnant. I had a baby right after.
Okay,
And then another one.
perfect, because he just made me feel as if he was a part of both of them, is what he says. So I will leave you with both of that.
Thank you.
The other connection that I do have here, it's odd because I don't know if this is going to be connected to you, but I do feel like there was a mother energy that is pulling me over here. Can I ask, did you help take care of like your grandmother towards the end of her passing? Okay, but is Mom still living? Perfect. And this would be Mom's mom? Perfect. One of the things that she's making me aware of, and I don't know if this means that, this is kind of strange because I actually kind of welled up those tears as I was sitting there. I don't know if like you were helping taking care of her, you left, and then she passed, but I felt as though that you weren't able to be there at the exact moment of her last breath. Do you understand that? So you were there at that moment. Okay. So I might be with you, and then I might be with another person as well. So the mother energy that did step forward made me feel as though I was taking care of her, or was on my way to take care of her, but she passed while I was coming, or while right when I left. So it could be Mom or grandmother energy. Not on this state about it. Am I connected with it? Yeah. How do you
Grandmother.
grandmother as well? Okay. I'm gonna stick with you just because. And can I ask, did you also have a friend that passed away very sudden or unexpected? This was like, I see 22 or 23 years old is when this happened. Okay. Stick with it just for a little bit. Can I just ask, were you wanting to connect to Mom's mom, by the way? Only because the energy that I have with her is that it's odd because whenever I see people floating on chairs, to me that means that like you're a saint on the physical world. So I don't know if your grandmother was the one that just literally opened up her home to anybody who needed one. But she made me feel as if to say that's how you model your life, is what she says. So I don't know if you thought about going into social work, I don't know if you thought about going into fostering youth, but she makes me feel as though that the love that you have in the community is actually very large. Would you The other thing that she makes me aware of as well, and I don't know if she brings up your necklace and she just says, thank you for wearing this today. So I don't feel like it was hers, but I do feel as though that she honors her faith. Do you understand that?
Yes, and we had the same necklace, we bought it the same day.
Perfect. She just made me feel as if to say thank you for wearing this. She's also making me where she talks about how it's odd because she looks at you like she's squinting, so I feel that either she couldn't see you towards the end, but she keeps making me feel like you wanted to like look in her eyes and like talk to her directly is what she says. And she also makes me aware that there was music playing as she was passing, and she just says, thank you guys for making sure that this was going. You understand this? So just know that she's wanting not only to say thank you, she says, she was scared to go, is what she says. And she goes, you guys made it, and I just got chills. So if you felt that, know that was her soul. What's really funny is that she makes me feel like, and I thought this was your friend, but she makes me feel a lot of her people in her life passed so sudden and so unexpected. They were taken from her, is what she says. And she made me feel as if to say that she reconnected with so many family members that she says, because we lost so many all at the same time. And one of the things that she also talks about, she says that there are family photos of them when they were younger that I feel like you look at. And she just made me feel as if to say, thank you for keeping these together. And she goes, your mom's fine. I know she's a lot to handle, but she's wonderful. In her own way. As she says, I know she can't cook like me, but that's no reason to judge her. Do you understand that? Your mom keeps talking to me about like Lily's being significant here as well. So I would understand that. What are these things called? Those aren't lilies. So what are the orchids? So would orchids be significant to the
Lilies.
Oh, they are lilies. Okay. I don't know flowers. That's the one thing I don't know. Flowers and
There was an organization that I'm looking into that was called Lilies of
lilies of the
that.
small.
It's very specific to her, yeah.
Oh, perfect. So whatever. So I'll stay with the lilies then. That works for me. But I just felt the need to not only say that she walked with you, but she goes, I'm proud that you've been able to find you, not be defined by somebody else. And I don't know if this means that you separated from a relationship that kind of held you down, but she just made me feel as if to say how strong you become, just like her. And she goes, you have no reason to hide in any shadow, because let's be honest, we are the light, is what she says. And she just makes me feel as if not only say that when she passed, she goes, it was almost as a relief to the family, because she was struggling for so long. And she just goes, I want you to know how easy it was for me to pass, because she goes, not only did God welcome me, but she goes, they rang bells when I came over. And she makes me feel like you do hear her quite often, so there are things that you listen to that remind you of her. And she does, you smell like her. It's kind of strange when she says that you get the whiffs of her as well. So know that that is her visiting you. I'll give you
Still having fun?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. My turn. No, we have a few minutes left, so it's always fun and an honor to serve. I've got, this is just so interesting. I think even last night too, I've had a lot of younger men come forward. I think last night was a good amount of I mean, maybe Spirit's bringing me a man. But I've got a male that is, he's definitely a younger male in spirit. And I'm being really drawn over here for some reason. So would you understand a friend in spirit that was not as old when he passed, and it's a quick passing, and there's a suddenness around this. Like, it doesn't really quite feel like an accident. It feels like he's more responsible of this passing, and you can't connect to that. Would someone over here be able to connect? You can connect to it?
Yeah. Okay,
hang on 1 second. I just feel like it's right here. So let me just get a little more information with him, because he gives me this feeling of like, I don't want to say he's a tough, yes he is. He's a tough guy. He's a bit of a tough guy, and he gives me this feeling of, again, like we were talking about earlier, no one's going to see him struggle. Like, he looks like he's really strong. He gives me the feeling of standing his ground, and he just made everyone feel really comfortable around him. He's super fun and charismatic, and he just gives me, he's a little inappropriate, I think, sometimes with the jokes, I feel like, or a little I forget that word. Yes, thank you, risque. So I want to ask, can anyone else take this young man, this quick passing where he's responsible? You can understand that? Okay. Can you understand this as well? Yes or
There
no?
might be one. There might be.
Might be. Well, I would hope you don't have more than one. I would hope there's not a directory of. So do you understand all the information? Okay. Do you understand the sense of humor around him
Yes.
and the
You
inappropriateness?
said inappropriate jokes.
That was it.
Yeah.
And you understand him kind of doing this a little bit, being like strong man, that sense as well. Not letting people in as much,
No,
like putting this
It took a lot to get.
facade on. You understand that? Okay. And then you also, well, we gotta get more because now apparently, he gives me this feeling of, the one thing I keep seeing too, which is interesting, I'm surprised it's that you don't, because he keeps showing me a jacket, almost like a leather jacket as well. Do you understand the jacket with him or always being cool? You do? It doesn't feel like it's you for some reason. I don't know. I really don't. I know. You understand the leather jacket?
I understand the leather jacket.
Oh, there's two. Okay. Keep going.
No.
I'm serious.
Listen, here's what I really appreciate this, but he is not letting me move from you, so maybe I'm
Okay.
getting something in it, but
It
he's
could
not,
be 1 or 2 people.
he's not letting me move. There's also an M connected. I don't know if it's with his name or someone around the circle you would have hung out with, but a Mark or a Michael is also what I'm hearing. So, can you connect to this?
Last name.
All the information?
Pretty much. But he wasn't that young. Oh, last name.
You understand?
Yeah. I
Okay.
wouldn't have thought of it because he's related to me, but yeah.
Okay, I just feel like I appreciate all of this, but I have to kind of,
I know
it is what it is, it's just,
Yeah.
work on your psychic amnesia, woman. He gives me this feeling of like, like always trying to get people to go, always trying to get people to go along is what I
He
keep
didn't have
getting.
an ego, but he seemed indestructible.
Yeah, he just gives me this feeling of like, go, 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 and I just get this feeling, and again, I do get this feeling of a jacket, there's gotta be a jacket connection.
If it's like a letter jacket, then yeah.
I just heard, well, I mean, I heard jacket and I
Yeah.
saw leather, but that's an L.
He
I
wore
don't
his
know.
letter jacket on.
Leather jacket. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Please stand for his
Okay. And you understand the Michael.
Well, last name.
You said last
Last
name.
name. But I'm not.
Okay. And then there's also this feeling where there would have been a connection where he gives me this sense of getting you to go. Like I feel like he kept trying to get you to go. That's the feeling I keep getting. Getting you to go with him, getting you to kind of take that next step, that sort of feeling. So do you understand that?
I don't know what that means, but I mean, kind of good. Not good. I mean, he was everybody's cheerleader.
Yeah, that's what I just
Makes
keep
sense.
feeling like. I just feel like this is you, and I just feel like it's like this. I want to kind of get you up. I want to get you going, you know?
Yeah.
And I just keep feeling like there's just this feeling of that leather jacket. It also keeps giving me the feeling of, again, people I think thought he was so cool. I just feel like people thought he was cool. I just feel like there's a sense around him of being popular, like people knew him. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so we definitely have our piggyback here, so listen along
Maybe
with
it's
this,
the same
okay?
person.
And he gives me this feeling too. I keep seeing real pretty eyes, so I know he's got real beautiful eyes. You understand this? And I also get the feeling. Oh, I mean, listen. I do feel like. Is this your cousin? Can I ask?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because I felt like it was a cousin. You know how I got that? Because he showed me really nice lips, and I was gonna say, "Oh, you'd like it?" And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." He says, "Don't tell her the lips." And I said, "Oh." So that's where that came from. So I understood that.
Eyes, definitely.
Okay, and he also gives me this feeling where there's either an Anthony or a Tony connected somewhere along the way too. So I saw a T. So I know there's a because it's phonetic for me. So would you understand the T name connected to him or in the family?
Tony.
You understand the Tony? Okay.
That's crazy that you said that. Yes.
He said it.
Yeah.
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
He gives me this feeling where he feels like, he's like, you know what, you need to just get going. Like, I feel like he's like, you need to just get going. So
It's
it's
probably accurate about me.
So I feel like maybe there's just this point where you've been stalling, or you're dragging your feet to this
Yes.
next step,
Yes.
and it's almost feels like this is more career, and it just
Yes.
feel like he is saying, go,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very passionate.
I think, yes.
And I do feel like he just wants to let you know I love you, and he gives you like a little wink and just says, you got this, get up and start moving your feet, take that next step, okay? So I'll leave that with you. Now really quick, just to go off the other one, would this other one have been like a more romantic relationship? Do you understand that?
Kind of.
Come on, me.
Not in that sense, but there's a love between each other.
Okay, because I also feel like he's kind of, because sometimes they start to pile in and you just have to kind of separate them out. And he just gives me, there is just this feeling of, I don't know though, I feel like he would have been affectionate towards you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, do you also understand like either him liking your legs, or would there be a sense of touching your legs or something about your legs? Do you understand that? Okay, just because I felt like, see, and I know that's not her, because again, we get into weird territory there. So they would just ask. There was also this feeling too, where I feel like he was like, either he's showing me like these boots, but I feel like he's always wearing boots. Do you understand what I mean? But they're like cool boots. They're like,
There's, yeah.
okay, because I just feel like he's more like a rock star, this guy. Oh, he was a rock star. He gives me this, like, because, the whole, it just very much switched, and I just feel like, there's like this tenderness he has towards you, and this affection, and he just takes his hands and he just rubs the side of your face ever so, and he just says, you're so beautiful. And I feel like he would tell you you're beautiful, but he says, you're so beautiful. And he said, well, this is just his little flirtiness, but he says, the magic we did create, the magic we could still create. And I just feel like it's letting you know that he loves you and that he is around you. And I feel like there's a sense where you grounded him, where I feel like, you gave him this love and support for who he is and not who everyone else thought he was. You understand that? And I just feel like he gives me this feeling of he's proud of the relationship that you two had. He's proud of the fact that there's some normalcy in what the two of you had versus the world. And I just feel like that made him feel joy. It made him feel real. You made him feel so good, he says. And he's gonna play a song for you. So apparently you're gonna hear a song. But I like this guy because he can dance too. He's a good dancer. Because he's got some hips and movement. So I do feel like you're gonna hear a song because it gives me more of a rock song. So I feel like you're gonna hear a song any day, and that's just him letting you know that he's around. Okay? All right, so I'll leave that with you. You guys enjoy today?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna let you know we have a couple events coming up. Our wonderful mediums, they actually work outside of here, and so they offer classes or do demonstrations. You can find them all online, so please follow their pages, like them, all of those wonderful things. But I want to start with Jules. I do know this week, actually, this Wednesday night, she's got the Moon Reiki meditation and sound bath, which is lovely. and her space is like 5 minutes from here. So you can talk to her about that. On June 24th, she has a crystal healing workshop, which is perfect and appropriate based on today's talk. So if you felt inspired or curious and want to learn some more, go ahead and take that workshop, okay? The other thing too is on June 30th, Jules and Cheryl Murphy and Susan Schuller, who you may have seen here before, the three of these beautiful women, incredible psychic mediums, will be in this space on June 30th, delivering messages from your loved ones in spirit. So that will certainly be something to see. Also, on June 16th, if you're near West Hills, which I think is like, it's kind of like in another country, right? Border. She's doing a private home demonstration. There's only 2 spots left. That's it. So Cheryl is doing that, and it's on June 16th. I think it's 1 to 2:30. So make sure you can connect to her, especially if you're coming from the West Hills is over by the valley, right? Yeah. So if you're even near or closer, I'm telling you, it's probably worth that drive for sure. So just go do it. You saw how incredible. Joshua John is from Oregon, so follow him, see when he's coming back to the LA area. Zach, keep an eye on his stuff. I know he's doing something in Colorado, but he also does business intuition here. As for me, we have our service normally every second Sunday of the month. And it's always a joy and a pleasure because it really brings us all together, this connection. And it's a space where we can feel good and loved and get these messages from our loved ones. So I do hope you leave here today feeling a little bit inspired and a little bit more connected to spirit, self, and your own soul. And if you want, there is a website. It's called the ColbyRebelSpiritCenter.com. That's for this space only. So if someone's holding a workshop here or a class here, whomever they are, they will be on that. They have a link. You can then go ahead and buy tickets to whatever link they provided for that, okay? I want to thank you so much. Feel free to check in after, give each other hugs, but have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you guys.